Breaking news, rather than a new indictment or crippling scandal, this week Donald Trump has offered an assortment of awful behavior. An amuse-douche, if you will. It's news o'clock. So, first he stoked misinformation about the federal government's disaster response, showing that he can also lie about hurricanes without a Sharpie. Either that or he saw Mother Nature's devastation to the country as some sort of competition. This on the heels of last week saying our partisan president refused to call Georgia's governor to talk disaster relief, which isn't true. Any issue calling Biden comes down to him being more of a Morse code kind of guy. He's old. But this week, Trump suggested FEMA spent all its money on migrants. The perfect story to misinform Republican voters, as it takes an upwards of 2 mouse clicks to debunk. Again, the story's not true, though it should be noted, as FEMA does now have to spend money addressing Trump's rumors on their website, that technically classifies him as a disaster. The president told Trump to get a life, which, if you're curious on the Biden outrage scale, is after, well, that's malarkey, but before, not in this house, Jack. Also this week, Trump no-showed 60 Minutes, but did a comedian's podcast. Look, no shade, as someone who's had to talk about his writing process on an upturned milk crate in another comic's pot-stenched living room while his roommate played Black Ops 3 at full volume, believe me, I know the grind. But I think we can all agree there's a little more dignity in talking to Bill Whitaker. Voters need to know how much your tax plan is going to cost the middle class, not how much strange you got in college, yo. Meanwhile, we have a fresh batch of awful Trump stories thanks to Bob Woodward's upcoming new book, More Valuable Information I've Kept from Voters Until Market Research Deemed It Was Financially Lucrative to Reveal. Look, I will always appreciate Woodward because of the whole bringing down Nixon thing, and because Robert Redford and all the president's men can get it. Look at me. He can get it. But he has a habit of hoarding Trump stories until he's got a release date, which is less journalism and more scrapbooking. Hey Bob, we could use a little more the public has a right to know and a little less the public has a right to pre-sales. 5 books about Trump scandals? Well, to be fair, Deep Throat did tell you to follow the money. Stories like, we now know why President Zelensky stared at Trump like, I bet this guy gave COVID tests to Putin. As it turns out, at the height of the pandemic, Trump gave COVID tests to Putin. So, while we were lining up for tests like we were in a Roland Emmerich movie, our president was going rogue like another Roland Emmerich movie. When he should have been putting our country first like another Roland Emmerich movie. Is Roland Emmerich the voice of our time? At the time, Trump was suggesting we should stop our own testing to bring down the cases, a mindset he'd later adopt for his criminal investigations. The Kremlin confirmed the report, which is saying something because they don't even confirm human rights, and the president responded, "What the hell is wrong with this guy?" Which, again, if you're curious on the Biden outrage scale, is after, give me a break, man, but before, that's 10 pounds of hooey in a 5-pound bag. And so the cycle continues. We find out Trump was bad years after we already know he got worse. Though I hope he doesn't watch any more Roland Emmerich movies, because accidentally releasing a kaiju is definitely something that he would do next. See you next week.